Hello, everyone out there. Welcome back to Life is a Bowl of Cashews, where life is sweet, salty, and a little nutty. I'm Brian Hull, and I'm joined by my co-host,
Paul! Hello, human.
Now, let's talk about some randomosity. Hello, everybody out there, and welcome back to Life is a Bowl of Cashews.
Cashews.
First of all, I want to say a big sorry for
sorry, guys.
not uploading anything for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit
happened.
more.
Lots happened.
We'll talk a little bit more about what's happened in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, first off, wanted to say a big sorry about that.
Sorry.
That is
Sorry.
not our intention. And then also sorry to all the YouTube people right now who are like, well, where are you guys? I don't see you.
We're not visible.
We're not visible right now, mainly because, well, I'll get to that in a minute. But, yeah. I guess we should address the elephant in the room first.
Do the noise.
What?
Do an elephant noise.
An elephant noise.
That's actually really good. All right. Can I start?
You can start.
Okay,
I mean,
cool.
people probably already know by this point what's going on because I'm pretty sure it's going to get, titled something like this.
It'll probably be like the most viewed video too.
Well, I don't know. What happened to Bippity Boppity Bros was probably our pretty high one.
So, lots have happened in the last 3 to 4 weeks.
Well, should we just come out and say what the elephant is and then
Yeah.
we talk about it?
So sadly, we're not going to continue Life is a Bowl of Cashews. And this isn't like an April Fool's joke or anything.
This is real. Well, I mean, this would be the worst April Fool's joke ever.
It would
It's
be
like
actually pretty bad.
it's almost a month
wait,
away.
I know. A month away?
As a month past it.
Yeah.
April Fools, even though April Fools was like a month ago.
Right. And the reason that we're going to get into the reasons, but
Yeah.
they're good reasons though.
Yeah.
And
Nothing bad happened.
Nothing bad happened. It's just, we put these episodes out. We really thought Cashews was going to be good. And it don't get me wrong. The subscribers were growing and analytics data, everything looked really good. But there was just something not there. And after Brian and I sat down and we talked about it, we're like, oh.
We've had 4 or 5 discussions about this.
This makes sense.
Yeah.
So do you want to start with the first thing that happened and then kind of trail and then
I don't know what first thing you're talking about.
So
'Cause there was a couple things.
So we didn't post 1 week because there was a death in Brian's family.
Yeah. And I had to fly out to Texas for that.
Right. So he had to manage that, so that was hard.
Well, I guess we shouldn't say that everything behind the scenes was good because that wasn't good.
Well, that wasn't good. No, that was
but
sad.
that was not a reason why we stepped away.
It had no bearing on the reason.
Yeah.
But following that, he came back from Texas and we started talking about kind of when do you have time to make cashews? When do you have time to make cashews? And we were kind of going back and forth and we never seemed to kind of find a time. And it kind of made me start thinking my schedule is busy.
And it's about to get busier.
So I cannot manage my full-time career and this side hustle. So I was like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. Then Brian kind of was like, good things. Now, mind you, what I'm saying is good things.
Yeah.
I feel there's a lot of, God has blessed me with a lot of good things right now.
Your schedule is about to get busier for good reasons.
Good reasons.
And it's going to lead to more successful things in your future.
Praise the Lord.
That's a great thing.
So it's all good things that really I believe God has blessed me with. But I also kind of dropped some truth.
You can say it. I don't care.
To Brian. And we've already talked about this. So
we have.
I'm going to do my side. Brian will obviously get to his in a second. But the big main reason, not the big main reason, that's hyperbolic. The one of the many reasons that I was like, okay, dude, you know what? So every time an episode comes out, I watch it, right?
Yeah.
Not because I'm a selfish narcissist. That's kind of a
well, no. You want to double check the product. That's I just want to make sure how you can expand and how you can grow. It's
just
learning.
Normal. So I'm looking at it and I'm watching myself, and I'm being weird. And honestly, I don't like the way that I'm portraying myself on camera. Actually, I don't think I talked about this with you.
You haven't.
But
That's new.
Yeah.
I was expecting you to say the other thing.
I'm going to get there in a second. But I don't like the way I'm portraying myself on camera. That is who I am. I'm pretty lighthearted. I'm really bubbly, but I'm also like this person where I'm very serious, and I'm also very
It did feel like you were trying to amp yourself up.
I was amping myself up, and I couldn't do it anymore.
It's for those guys who think that, Paul is sitting over here saying that this isn't who he is, it's like, it's a part of him. It's like if you're looking at a dice, like a 10-sided dice or something like that, you were showing one side of the die. So it's still part of it. That there's a lot you just weren't showing.
Right. And that wasn't fully me. And I don't like doing that. So I'm just like, okay. Plus, I don't like being on YouTube. That's something I don't like doing. I'm not an actor. I'm not an influencer. I'm not a voice actor. I'm not anything that is on YouTube or relevant, whatever. I'm just not that person.
This isn't him being self-deprecating
No,
either.
not at all.
This is him just saying he has tried it.
I know what I'm good at. Yeah.
Yeah, you've tried it multiple times
I've tried it so many times, it's embarrassing. So I think
you've tried it a bunch, and you've just realized, you came to the realization, like, you just don't like it. That this is just not the way you want your future to go.
So
which is fine.
I'm a social worker at heart. I'm a therapist. I know what I'm good at, and I know what I'm not. What I'm good at is what I do. I'm a great social worker.
You're amazing at that.
Thank you very much. But God has gifted me with a very cool talent and a gift, and I praise him for that. But guess what? Being on YouTube ain't one of them. So I'm okay with that. Yeah. And I say that, and I'm probably going to do something, whatever. But the point is like, that is not my wheelhouse. The other thing was, I'm watching Brian, and I'm all like, he has no response to me. So I'm going nut bar bananas over here, and he's just, Mr. Silence Petulance next to me, and I'm like, there's no reaction. So that bothered me, and I go, dude, you suck at sharing the screen with people. And he admitted to it. Like, it wasn't like a, how dare you, sir?
No, I've looked at it too, and I thought, ooh, I look so disinterested, even though in the moment I'm not.
No, you're not.
In the moment, I'm very present.
That's your thinking face.
It is my thinking face. I think I'm sitting there thinking while we're doing it. I'll get to my point about why I was thinking, but yes, I was thinking during those times.
So I was like, in combination with, I am not me, and let's go to Brian, and Brian's just like, stone-faced. I'm just like, this isn't working. Like, it's not funny to me. This isn't who we are. We are truly best friends. This man is my brother through and through. Yeah. And I'm telling you, all that is true. But what you see on camera is 10% of our friendship.
Oh, not even.
Not even. Because we are truly close, and we're, like I said, we are brothers. Like, that is not ever going to change. But I will tell you, what you see on camera is a part of that, but it's not always that.
Yeah.
And so, and I know you guys know that. Like, none of you are like, duh. But none of you are like, oh, shocker. Like, all of you are like, duh. But I just wanted to say that. So, like, please know, like, the reason we're kind of, like, stopping Cashews is mostly, I would blame a good 70% on me, and Brian can, kind of do what he wants to talk about that. But, like, I'm far too busy. I have a family, and everything keeps growing. So when I think it's going to be stagnant and stop, no, it just keeps growing. And so I'm like, which is great, and I'm so happy for that. But at the same time, I'm like, to be completely honest, I had this dream, and it was a bad dream. Well,
you've had this dream for a while. If it's a dream I'm thinking of.
Maybe. It's a dream that I can be on YouTube and be a successful mental health influencer.
But that's not the one I thought you were thinking of. But that is, you've had that one for a while.
Mm-hmm. But the dream isn't oops, sorry about that. But the dream isn't ever going to come to fruition, and not because I'm saying I can't do it. Not because I'm self-deprecating. It's
because you said you tried it.
I've tried it,
and you found it's not for you.
I can't do what Brian does. Like, let's be honest. You have, maybe you do. I don't know if any of you are influencers out there on social media, but Brian's job is not easy. Brian's job is very difficult because he has to sit down and contemplate and construct an idea. First of all, contemplate and create an idea. Then he has to construct the idea. And that takes days and weeks and sometimes months. And when he puts out these videos, these are like really heavy. Some of them
Well, some of them I took like 5 minutes to make, and other
ones were
took
like
weeks and months.
Weeks and money. And so when you look at a 1 minute short, that took them probably less than a week. That's a long time for a minute, people.
Well, I mean, it depends on the short, but
still. And then let's look at bigger videos like his song covers. These are big productions. These are like horribly expensive things. So
because I have to get a track made about a month out in advance.
It's a thing.
Then I got to put it together, get the green screen, get the editing together.
A team. There's things that people do not see that influencers do that Brian does every day.
Well, you can tell them from firsthand just the Mario one-man recap that just came out. How long? That took me 3 days to film.
3 days just to film. The idea was it's crazy. So, excuse me. So the reason I say all that is because that's Brian's full-time job. That is not my full-time job. My full-time job is to be a therapist. My full-time job is to be a clinician. That's my full-time job. If my full-time job wasn't that, then maybe I can do this. I'm smart. I could totally do it. But guess what? That's not my calling. My calling is this. So I was like, I can't do this. I can't literally take breaks in my day all the time to film this, even though I really loved it. And I'll be honest, like I loved putting it out there, seeing you got like your guys' comments really made me happy. Like I was like, yay, this is making a good impact. It's positive. I love it. But I don't have I can't balance anymore. And so I'm like, no, I just can't. So after talking to Brian, I was like, you know what? You suck at sharing the screen. And I don't like who I am on the screen. I don't have time. And I'm going to leave this over to Brian. This is a good transition because Brian has some great ideas that has been presented to him. And I really, really think they're going to flourish. But I think it's Brian will, and we're not going to go into details, and please don't go like, oh, Brian. It's just, let's be honest, like, patience is a virtue, and what's coming is great, but I'll let Brian take it from here.
Okay. Yeah, just, I guess to go along with the story where you were, when we were talking about this. So yeah, I had a death in the family, and I flew out to Texas to go deal with that. But before I left, we were trying so hard, or at least I was trying to get everything together because I had so much work that week that I was trying to put together before I left. And I was like trying to get just a setup for Cashews ready. So to set up shooting Cashews, the video, is very difficult because my studio is not very wide. There's only one place where we can film that can actually facilitate two people sitting next to each other and being able to speak while still looking good on camera. And it's kind of difficult to set up, number one. And so, like, if you guys have ever seen my live stream setup, you see the microphone that I talk on all the time. I normally take that one off of the arm and put it onto a pole and like a microphone stand, and put it there with us. So I just use that same microphone. But there is something wrong with it to where when I unscrew it, there is a piece that comes off with it that I, for the life of me, cannot get off. I have tried every tool that I own. I ruined a pair of socks trying to use that as a leverage to grip onto it and pull and unscrew this thing, but it is just not coming off. I spent, about an hour of like trying to...
At least.
About an hour trying to get that set up for Cashews. Yeah. And I was so frazzled and I was so messed up. And you're like, hey, are we doing Cashews? And you kind of saw me over there with the tools just like, and he's like, Brian, it'll be okay if we don't get one out.
And this was when you were about to leave to go to Texas. So this was like a day before you were about to leave.
This was the day before we were going to go. So I was, first of all, dealing with the loss of my loved one. Yeah. And then trying to get this
frustrating thing off.
This dadgum piece off,
right.
Which that's why we're not filming today, because I tried again today, another 20-30 minutes, and I cannot get it off, and I'm like, well, this is not going to come off of this ever again. No. So we can't film where we're recording right now, so I'm like, you know what, our last one will be audio. I'm sorry to do that, but I'm not going to go through all of this time to try to fix this part just for us to not do it anymore.
Right.
So that's why we're not filming. But that kind of started our conversation. Like as soon as I came home from that, we started having these conversations. And I'm gonna be honest, from its inception, this has always been your baby more than it's been mine.
Oh yeah.
And I've always wanted to respect that, and I was excited about like the directions we were going and everything. But the more we kept leaning into the randomly generated, I was like, we're having fun, but I have no idea how to market this, and that's my job. And that's why you see me thinking so hard in all of these videos, because I'm like, oh, that was funny. Is that what I need to market on? What should we make the title? How do I make the thumbnail? What is this going to look like? Because I do have my main channel to worry about, and I've got other responsibilities. And luckily, we had my editor doing the editing for the podcast, so I at least didn't have that on my plate too. But, you know, once I get that from my editor, I have to listen to it and make sure that everything is golden. It's like, okay, I need you to make that change right there, do that. But then I've got to make the thumbnail. I've got to come up with the title. I've got to figure out what the tags are. And I'm just like, this is such a random podcast. How do I market this? Mm-hmm. What do I focus on? What is the best part? I don't know. And then because I'm putting so much time into my main channel, I'm like, I don't have the time to dedicate to this on that marketing side. So every time we would film, I would be a little stressed, not because we weren't making good content or not because I thought what we were doing was bad. That's why I'd be thinking, it's like, okay, was that good enough to make it? Was that good enough to be the main thing? Was that good enough to do that? And it really became just a struggle with every episode to be like, oh, we're going to make it more random now. Okay, how do I market this? Just because, yes, variety channels can work, and yes, random things can take off online, things that, you know, don't have just one set thing, but they're the exception, not the rule. Mm-hmm. So I was trying to strategically find ways to place it all. And also, I thought we would be kind of like we were talking about before, showing other sides of ourselves. I thought that was going to be more of what we were going to be doing with the podcast as we started. And it kind of just became a bunch of fun games, which were entertaining. Mm-hmm. They were entertaining. But I was like, oh, I thought we were going to do something, you know, a little deeper, maybe going into some like, I don't know, showing different sides that I'm not already showing on my main channel, doing things like that. And that wasn't how the podcast worked out, which was fine.
Right.
It was fine. It's just not where I thought it was going. And it was just difficult to keep up with it. So when you came up and you were like, hey, I think we need to talk about it, you know, I kind of already had that in my head too. Mm-hmm. It wasn't, although I will admit, you saying I wasn't sharing the screen well came as a little bit of a shock, even though I'm like, I kind of notice it too. But I was also kind of sitting there thinking, it's like, maybe nobody notices because nobody said anything. But obviously not. And it's not because I don't like working with you or didn't think what you had to say wasn't funny or entertaining. It was what I said before.
Yeah,
it was.
You were thinking.
I was thinking really hard about, because I don't want to sit here and have to spend an hour going through this to try to nail something down. To go ahead and have it while we're recording. And,
right.
Yeah, and on top of that, it was I am now looking at my online presence in a very different way. I've been doing a lot of looking into my future and thinking about how I want things to progress and how I want things to continue. And
with Madame Leota, I couldn't. I had to.
Wait, what?
Get it? Look into your future with Madame Leota.
I didn't even put that together. You made a Disney reference. I didn't.
I
didn't even think of that.
Oh, it's because of my Disney pants.
Oh yeah,
I'm harnessing Disney right now. Go ahead.
He's wearing Disney joggers. We were at Disneyland the other day. Ironically enough, the day that the Maleficent dragon caught on fire, but we didn't see it.
No, we didn't see it.
No,
we were there. Yeah.
We were there, but we left before that happened.
That's funny.
But not long before that happened.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Continue.
No, that's totally cool. But yeah, no, I was thinking about my future and how I would, you know, look at my online presence and stuff. And thinking more long term, mainly because up until now, I'd always seen my YouTube channel as like my more or less part-time job. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a part-time job; it's a full-time job, and it still is. But I mean that in the sense like an actor would. Like they go out to L.A. and they're just like, yeah, I'm out here to be an actor, but I need my part-time job as like a waiter or bartender or like, I don't know, washing cars or something. I don't know what everybody does.
I don't either.
So I always saw that as that.
Although I did meet a doctor once that was an actor part-time.
Really?
Yeah, he's all like, he told me that him being a physician was his part-time role.
What?
He's all like, oh, I need a part-time job, so I became a doctor.
So you go to school to 10 years to have a part-time job while you try to be an actor?
You went to medical school to do that? All right, but he never became a successful actor, but definitely became a good doctor.
Oh, all right, then.
I looked at him and I'm like, bro, really? He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, whatever. Do you?
Yeah, but all that to say, as like after talking with some more people in the industry and getting to know a little bit more of how it works, working on more bigger projects, it started to dawn on me. I was just like, oh, the world of voice acting, at least the realm that I'm getting into, doesn't really operate the way that I thought it would. It's still great, and I'm still excited to do more voice roles, and I still have more voice work coming up. I can't talk about it right now, but there is more coming up, and that will never stop. But it started to get me thinking, it's like, well, you know what? Maybe YouTube shouldn't be my part-time thing, and maybe it should be a jumping off point for more things and for me to be able to expand and show more things, as opposed to strictly being a way to pay my bills while I try to get into the voiceover world. It's like, well, that's very limiting. There's so much more I could be doing with online content creation. So one of the things that I'm trying to do right now is to branch off to more projects now that I've brought some help onto the main channel. We'll continue to make content there. While I have, now that people are taking on that extra, now that I've brought some people on to help with the team, I have more time to focus on other creative endeavors so that there would hopefully be more and different kinds of content that I can be putting out onto different platforms to, number one, to scratch a creative itch that I have, and then also to really just expand into other avenues. And the more I got excited about these and the more we looked into it, and I know I brought a lot of these, you know, basically all the stuff that's coming. You were excited about it too, and then you even said it's just like Cashews doesn't fit into that future. It doesn't, and it's taking away time. It's like we had a great time doing it. I will say this. I had a great time doing it. It was a fun experiment. I learned a lot through this, and it's things I'm going to take on to future projects. But like, I don't regret doing it at all. I'm glad that it had the impact that it did. And yeah, I'm happy that you brought this up, and I'm happy that we tried this.
Oh, yeah, no, totally. I love the experience.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I just, like you said, it doesn't fit in. Like where you're going with your online presence and where you're going with your career in general, this does not fit in, and that is fine.
It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit into mine. It doesn't fit into yours.
It's a sad ending. I don't want it to end, but it has to end.
Well, I don't see it as a sad ending.
Well, let me rephrase that. It's not a sad ending. It's a happy ending for happy things, but this needed to come to a close.
I agree.
And I'm really happy it is, because the ideas that Brian is generating and coming up with, they're brilliant, really good ideas, and I'm very proud of him because he's come a very long way. And he's more willing to try things, experiment, and expand when he was not comfortable doing that in the time.
Yeah.
And people grow and people progress, which is great. Cashews did not fit in that growth and progression. And so I was just like, you know what? Cool. But the other thing is, too, is, you know, Brian and I differ a lot. Like, we differ a lot. We are, like I said, best friends and brothers.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you right now, we are, if you met us in person, you would look at us both and go, how are you guys friends?
Oh, it makes no sense.
Because it makes no sense.
None.
You have me, who's super serious. I can be very serious, but I was
about to say super sarcastic.
I'm very sarcastic, but I'm also serious. I am everything that I like, Brian doesn't like. Everything Brian likes, I'm like, But the weird thing is we have this great connection. And I truly believe that God has brought us together to be best friends and brothers for many a reason.
Yeah.
But I also truly believe that with all this happening and everything that happened, I think it's good that we started Cashews. It did something. It helped someone. It did something for us. But now the time is sadly over. And so now we're just looking at this as, okay, we're breaking from Cashews. It's done. Cashews is done. I want to say it again. Cashews is done.
He's making sure we don't have another bippity boppity
Cashews
bros
is done.
moment. Well, no, the reason why people kept asking is because we said new episode coming, and we never had like a farewell episode.
Well, now we learned our lesson. We're going to close this out for you guys.
Right.
But basically, Cashews is done, and Brian.
And we meant for this to come out the week after I got back from my family member's funeral.
Busy.
Oh gosh,
and
I felt like I didn't breathe for the last 2 weeks.
And let's be honest, it's like Brian is not going anywhere online. He's going to be there for quite a while. You will see.
In fact, you're going to see my presence get bigger.
You will see his presence get bigger in very different ways, which is fabulous. And Brian has a really cool story, and that is not my story to share on how these ideas came to be. It is up to him to tell that story one day, but. The stories are awesome. The story is awesome, and the way it came about is very cool. I mean, amazing. And him, I know what he's doing behind the scenes. I see what he's doing. I keep up with it, and let me tell you, it's gonna be a really cool thing, and it's gonna create safe content in a really cool way, and it's gonna be cool. Like in my opinion, and for all ages. That's my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my opinion. Because I would watch it. I would.
Well, you'd watch anything I do.
No, that's not true. I've seen some things. I'm like, Brian, really? But the thing is, I know what you're doing, and I'm like, oh my gosh. The more it's developing and fleshing out, the more ideas you're coming up with, the more things you're doing with it. I'm like, wait a minute, you added this? Oh yeah, A, B, and C. Oh, that actually sounds kind of cool. Or I'm gonna do this with it. Ooh, that sounds fun. Like I would watch this, and it's not even my target. Like it's not targeting me. So it's like, whoa, that's cool. So Brian's not going anywhere. I will always be around. Like you're gonna see me in his live streams. You'll probably see me appear in some videos. Like I'm always gonna be around in the background.
I know my Discord is putting together a list for another 24-hour torture Brian. With
great, and
Pixar,
you will see me doing fun things to torture my bestie over here. But as this comes to an end and we kind of transition out of this, like it's starting something new, not just for me, but really starting something new for Brian. And he needs the space to grow, and Cashews is limiting that space. So I'm taking it away from him purposefully. I am saying goodbye to Cashews. You need to grow, and this is how you're going to do it. And he's doing it, and he's following it, and I love that.
Well, and you have your own reasons for leaving too. You're not doing this exclusively for me.
So like my full-time job.
We both just came to a mutual spot that was like it needed to go.
Right, and my full-time job is great. I have a great job, and because of that, but I work on the side as in my private practice, and my private practice is growing, which is fabulous. But I don't have the time to spare anymore. So
we had to start making cuts somewhere.
Yeah, and this is it. This is fine. So I'm super excited to see what's coming for Brian.
I'm super excited to see what's coming with you.
Well, it's not really. I'm going up to 9 hours a week in my private practice.
That's still awesome.
That big of a deal. But
that's still awesome.
I am excited. So all that to say is that, do you have anything else you want to add before I?
I do want to make one note.
Ooh, note it.
Just to be clear, by the time this episode comes out, the memberships program on YouTube should be eliminated from our channel. So if you were being charged during that time, you should be refunded.
Yes.
We want to make sure that nobody is giving money to a dead podcaster.
You'll get refunded for that month.
You will get refunded for that month. And if for some reason you don't, let us know. You can contact my business email, and we'll do our best to make sure we get that resolved for you.
Yeah, we can contact you too.
Yeah, we can talk.
So know that. Thank you for pointing that out. Also, just kind of like, if anyone's still listening, Curith Crossing is my nonprofit that I've kind of started.
Yeah.
And I'm doing a lot with it, but there is a lot in the background that I need to keep doing.
Yeah.
So because of that, there's a lot there. So,
well, that's another reason why, Cashews needed to, end.
Yeah.
Well, so that you have some time to work on Kirith.
Yeah. So all in all, that's kind of the reason. So
yeah,
let's say as we transition out for the last time, it's honestly been great. It's been amazing. You guys are fantabulous.
We've learned a lot.
Really have.
We don't see this as a failure. We see this as a stepping stone to more things.
Totally.
Yeah.
And you're going to see Brian grow. You're going to see me still. I'm not going anywhere. So know that you guys were awesome. Thank you so much for always just coming and listening and being part of this community. It's been great. But we got to go.
Yeah. It's been real, y'all.
It's been good.
We were happy to come and share some randomosity.
Yeah.
Had to do it one more time.
One more time.
Especially now that, we haven't done a podcast since Mario's come out.
I know.
And Jack Black was Bowser, so I had to do a little bit of that.
See, you gotta. So all
got
that being
to get some Bowser.
See, you did it.
Yeah, I did it.
All that being said, thank you so much for listening all these months. You guys are awesome. Love it. Peace out, homies. Oh, I'm sorry. Peace out, humans. There you go.
Did you say hello, humans, earlier today?
Hello, humans.
You didn't say it earlier, did you? We had to hear it at least one more time.
I know. Hello, humans. And now, we'll see you later, humans. I'm always
say
around.
Goodbye, human.
Goodbye, human. No, it sounds like I'm dying.
No one thought you were dying.
Okay, I'll say see you later. I don't like saying goodbye.
All right.
See you later, humans.
Yes.
Anyway, you guys are awesome. God bless. Keep the faith, man.
Yes.
Keep the faith.
And
I don't like saying that, but God bless.
Yeah, thank you guys again so much for hanging out with us for Cashews. And for the last time, this is Brian and Paul signing off.
Oh, that sounds really stupid.
We should have talked about how to end this better, because now we've had 3 endings.
I know. Okay, bye, guys.
Bye.